Hey everybody, I'm Michael.
And I'm Tiffany, and our video today is going to be the reasons that we bought a patio villa and maybe some things you would want to consider if you're looking to buy a new home in the Villages in Florida.
But before we get to all of those reasons, just want to send out a huge thank you to everybody that's been part of this journey, especially everybody who watched our closing day video. That was a lot of fun doing the closing day. There's a lot of footage. It took me a long time to edit all that, but thank you to everybody that's either already a current villager, or for those of you that are dreaming about being a villager someday, or for those of you that were kind of like us, that were just waiting to sell your current place to become full-time villagers. Thank you all for those wonderful, warm wishes and welcomes. And we were just so excited to be part of the Villages so far, right?
Yes.
If you're new to our channel, how did we get from there to here in just really a few short weeks? And just to kind of sum it up for you real quickly, we've been searching for over a year now, looking at active adult communities and trying to figure out where would we want to settle down someday. And we've been looking all over Florida, and the Villages was not really even on our radar until last July. And so last July, we went to one of the sales and information centers. We met our awesome sales agent, and they were ready to hook us up with a lifestyle visit right then and there. But at that point in time, all they had was called Alden Bungalows, right? Mm-hmm. And that was up there by Brownwood. And we knew we wanted to move into the newer section down south. So they didn't have really the lifestyle visit homes available at that point in time. So we decided we would just go rent a house, right?
Yep.
So where do we rent at?
We rented in St. John's.
Yep.
A designer home in St. John's.
Yep. And that's what we really thought we were going to buy at first, was a designer home, right?
Right. So
we love that designer home. We love the St. John's area. All of you over there, you're really in an envious position to be that close to Brownwood, getting down to Sawgrass. They got the brand new, what's it called?
Harry and the Natives.
Yeah, Harry and the Natives. Can't wait for that place to open up. That's right up my alley. A tiki bar and all that kind of stuff. So we really thought we were going to buy a resale and a designer home. And that's where our brain was just kind of locked on and fixated on. And well, that changed really quickly, right?
It did. Once we finally decided to then do a lifestyle visit.
Yep.
And so it was in a patio villa.
Yeah. Which was not even on our radar. We did not think a patio villa was going to be right for us. But after we stayed and had such an awesome, wonderful experience during our week-long lifestyle visit, it wasn't even a week. We stayed 4 nights and 5 days, and we packed in as much experiences as we could, and that still wasn't long enough. So we've heard of folks that come down and do multiple lifestyle visits over many years before making a decision. And what we did figure out on that lifestyle visit was, hey, these patio villas are not too bad. That might be the right decision for us right now, which kind of leads us back into why we're making this video today. What are those main reasons why we chose a patio villa instead of a designer home, and some of those things that you might want to consider in the future?
So reason number 1 that we bought a patio villa is that we did not want to wait to sell all of our other properties to become villagers. We wanted to live the lifestyle now. We just needed a house to go with it, basically, is how we were looking at it at that point. And you got to remember, we've been in an RV full time for 4 years. So I was ready, and my husband was trying to be very accommodating. I really wanted to be in a home before the holidays. I wanted to cook Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah. I couldn't wait to do all of those things, which I did do in the RV. It took a little practice, but I just couldn't wait to do all that again and have a place for our son to stay. And so we really wanted to start living and loving the lifestyle right away.
We sold our home. We've been married now for almost 30 years, but at that point in time, we'd been married about 26 years, and we had lived 17 years in our previous home, and our only son was a senior in college. So we sold that back at the end of 2019, custom ordered our motorhome, and jumped right into that full-time RV lifestyle. We didn't start at the entry level. We just started with a Class A motorhome with zero experience. And yeah, it was a lot of fun and a lot of craziness over the last 4 years with everything that's been going on in the world and stuff like that. But after spending 4 years of holidays, we just decided, you know what? We need to be back in a house to celebrate. And we can't wait because our son will be here in a few days. And then Tiffany's parents are going to actually come up. And they're renting a house over there in Richmond, right?
Richmond,
so
yeah.
her parents are going to rent a house for a week in Richmond. So we can't wait to go check that out too. So that was the main reason, was we wanted to be in a home for the holidays. And we're getting ready to sell our motorhome and our casita coach house and our other RV properties very, very soon. So again, we were so locked in, we thought we wanted to buy a designer home before we did that lifestyle visit. And the only way for us to do that was to sell everything first. But once we started rethinking this and thinking, you know what, we're really here for the lifestyle, not necessarily just the house, that made our decision much, much easier. And we're really glad we did that, because in between the time we rented the house, then we did our lifestyle visit, you know, it can take people years to find the perfect neighborhood, the perfect house. And so what was our original thought that we were going to do after we did our lifestyle visit? What we were going to do for the next 4 months before we bought this?
So we were going to rent a patio villa in the new section in the south.
Yep.
And so I think it was in Newell.
Yep.
And it was brand new. No one had even rented it before. And so we were going to rent it during season for like 4 months. Or the holidays and then season.
Yep.
And then Michael, you know, we got up to writing the check.
Yep.
We got up right to that point.
Because when they say, oh, you had to be X amount per month, like, oh yeah, let's do that. But then once they sit over the contract for us to read all the stipulations, and then you see that grand total at the bottom and realize you're going to sign and write a check for that amount.
Right. We're like, that's a down payment. I mean, that's our money down on a patio villa.
Yep.
And then we would have 30 more days to move some money around to be able to just buy it. So instead of just waiting for everything to be perfect,
because life never is.
Life never is. And I think that's one thing we've definitely learned over the years.
Yep.
Not everything's going to be perfect at any point. That we decided to just go for it and do what we could afford at the time. Reason number 2 that we bought a patio villa is we know ourselves. So it's the space. Remember, we are coming from full-time RVing. We had sold everything we owned. And so we have no furniture. Everything we owned fit in an RV. And then we also bought the casita coach house. So we had lived in 300 to 700 square feet the past 4 years. And so the patio villa was just the right size because we needed to buy new furniture.
Right.
And we also know that if we have more space, we're going to fill that space up. And so we really didn't want to do that right at the beginning. We wanted to make sure that we could make a nice home and fill it and not have too much stuff everywhere.
Yeah, there's one piece of advice we can give you about downsizing, whether it be moving to the villages or getting ready for that empty nester phase of life. You know, we lived in our previous home for about 17 years, and it was almost 3,000 square feet, 4-bedroom, an office. We had a completely floored attic. We had eave storage, the garage. Every single piece of storage area was filled to the brim. And it was hard getting rid of a lot of that stuff emotionally, but man, I'll tell you what, getting rid of it now just it's awesome. So we just rented a little 5x15 storage unit back where our home used to be, kept our personal mementos like photos and stuff like that, kept all of our son's stuff because he was a senior in college. We didn't feel like we just wanted to, you know, get rid of all his stuff, let him grow up and decide what he wants to do with it. But yeah, we purged most of everything that we had bought and accumulated over 25 plus years of marriage. And that was hard to do, but it was very, very freeing. But we did the same thing, like you said. We moved in the RV at first at 350 square feet. We filled every single cabinet, every single drawer, every single bay. Below that, then we bought that casita coach house property about 2 years ago, and it was completely empty. And guess what? Now it's completely full too. So we've been doing that in between moving here, downsizing, getting rid of all of that stuff. So purging and getting rid of stuff is hard to do. And yeah, we're going to try not to fill this place up with clutter. So the third reason why we decided to start with a patio villa instead of a designer home was because of budget, right? Not talking about purchasing budget. We're actually talking about your monthly budget. How much is it going to cost us? How much would it cost you at the entry level to move to the villages? Because If you move up to, what is it called, a courtyard villa or a designer home or even one of the premier homes, and there's some other things in between there, guess what? Well, not only is the house going to cost more, but the more your house costs, then the more your taxes are going to be. And then if we would have bought a designer home, well, the bond of the designer home was almost twice as much as the bond is on our patio villa, which we're going to share all that information with you in our 1 month breakdown. And then we'll also do a follow-up at 6 months and 1 year. But this will give us a pretty good handle on how much does it cost, not only for those types of things, but a smaller footprint. It's going to be less electricity to heat and cool this. Hopefully our water bill will be a little bit less as well too, because we have a smaller yard, so it's going to cost less to irrigate that. And then what are some of the other things I may be forgetting about?
I think that's mainly it. I think our whole thing was just like, if we can afford this, because we're not retired yet, but we do need to think of the future, and we need to think about a realistic monthly budget of what we need moving forward. Hopefully we have many years left, and we need to save up for that and make sure that we can do that.
Yeah, the villages will give you, your sales agent will give you can actually find on their website too, they will give you this kind of a budget spreadsheet. It's not really a spreadsheet, but it's kind of I don't know, what would you call that?
Expected cost.
There you go. And they break it down by home type. So not only the purchasing price, but they list, what the taxes and how much you'd spend on utilities or your sewer bill and stuff like that. So we're going to test it out and find out if that holds true or not. And we just got our, we're getting really close to getting our full first month of bills. So yeah, we can't wait to share all that information with you and see how close do we stick to that estimated budget that the villages gave us.
So that kind of leads us into reason number 4, which is maintenance and less maintenance. Not only budget-wise, but time-wise. Yeah. I mean, one of the main reasons we moved to the villages was for the whole villages experience and to live the lifestyle. And we also still love to travel. We love to cruise, we love to road trip, we love to all of it.
Yep.
And so the less time we have to spend at home, cleaning and maintaining the house is even better. So less time to maintain, less time to clean, and less time doing yard work.
Yeah, because number one, I hate doing yard work, but I'm also very cheap and very frugal, and I hate to pay anybody to do my yard work. Back home in our old house, we had a pool and a big, huge backyard, a big front yard, side yard, all these bushes that I personally maintain. It would take me probably 2 days out of the week just to maintain our property because I was too cheap to pay anybody, to be quite honest with you. And that was one of the greatest parts about being on this full-time RV adventure. Yeah. I haven't had to cut grass, clean a pool, trim hedges, or anything in 4 years. So yeah, I'm just a cheapskate. I wasn't going to pay anybody to cut my yard. So we have a much smaller footprint, very little yard to speak of. And so we priced it out, and some of the folks said, oh yeah, we'll cut your grass $60-70 a month. Doesn't sound too bad, but when you multiply that, well, that's $700-800 a year. So I'll share with you in a future video if you'd like to see, but I actually went out and bought an electric lawnmower and electric weed eater and blower and stuff like that. And I've already cut the grass twice, and it literally took me all of maybe 10 or 15 minutes to maintain. So save quite a bit of money, and it's much easier to maintain. So like Tiffany said, we can get out and enjoy more of the village's lifestyle and then share our experience with you. So now let's discuss why we bought our particular patio villa. And if you haven't seen it yet already, go back and check out our closing day video. You can see a complete walkthrough tour at the end of that video of what home we actually did. And what did we buy again?
We bought an Emerald.
So we got an Emerald, which is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. There is a 3-bedroom Emerald option available, but it does not have that front lanai. So the first thing that you should know about patio villas here in the villages is they pretty much sell out pretty darn quickly. Mm-hmm. They have discounted a few of the designer homes we've seen recently, but those are typically the last houses that are left over, and they're just trying to close that out. But when patio villas open up, they open up a brand new patio villa community or village, they go pretty darn quickly because of the price point and everything. So when our neighborhood did open up, this house where we're situated just met a lot of the criteria for me. Number one, the way it's situated, and then Tiffany will share some of the stuff why we really like it on the inside as well too. But number one is the way it's situated on the lot itself, because after being, full-time RVers for the last 4 years and wintering for the last 4 seasons in Florida, well, we've become pretty aware of how the sun rises and how the sun sets and how that can heat up your internal living space, and then how it affects your patio space too. So this house was located perfectly for us, so that when the sun does rise, it kind of rises over our golf cart garage. And so we don't have that direct, harsh sunlight just pouring in on our outdoor lanai. And we don't have that direct, harsh sunlight just pouring into our windows. And so it's glaring off the TV or anything like that, or heating up our house unnecessarily. So the way it rises and sets is perfect for us. And we have plenty of natural light, but then we have also plenty of shading to be able to enjoy our outdoor spaces. Even our outside patio space that's not covered right now, that gets a lot of shade in the afternoon. So when we do start grilling out, or if we want to hang out there or whatever, it's going to be really nice. And then the other thing, based on that last video kind of mentioned about sinkholes, we've heard there's a lot of sinkholes. We haven't actually seen one yet. I thought we were going to see one yesterday, and thankfully it wasn't a sinkhole.
Right.
But we wanted to make sure our house was situated up kind of high and dry. So our neighborhood, when you first turn in, it starts ramping up. And so we are at the end of the road, and we're kind of at the very highest elevation point, not only for that road, but for the neighborhood that backs up behind us. So everything will drain away from our property and then drain down the road. And we have had a lot of rain, not just this past weekend, but the last few weeks that we've been here. It's been unseasonably kind of rainy. So thankfully the sun was out yesterday, the sun was out today. And
yes,
so those are the main reasons why this particular house worked for us. And we knew if we did not snap it up right then and there, it would go pretty quickly, because the majority of the homes in here sold within 3 weeks, were under contract. There are only a couple of homes that were left over after 3 weeks.
Right. The other thing is, we knew the look we wanted on the inside after looking at many houses. Thank you to our sales agent, Kelly, for spending all that time. But we walked in, we wanted the kind of grays, and I definitely wanted the white kitchen. It just had the colors that we liked.
Right.
And so the floor was exactly the color that we wanted. We weren't giving up anything that we were hoping for. The other thing we like about, I guess it's considered inside, would be our lanai.
Right.
The way the emerald is set,
we
have a lot of privacy on our front lanai.
Yeah.
So some of the other models, the lanai screen opens right up onto the street. But the emerald, our golf cart garage, is kind of in front of us. So we have a lot of privacy. We can see what's going on and get that light or the shade, whatever time of day it is, but still have that privacy, because we really are excited about that outside area. It's so beautiful today. It's finally down where it's cool and sunny and perfect sitting outside weather. So for a patio villa, it had everything that we were looking for.
We rented our designer home over there in St. John for a week. We loved that house. We loved that neighborhood. But what we did not like about it was it had a beautiful, beautiful lanai, and it was decorated very nice. As soon as we stepped out on our lanai, it literally had the kissing lanais. And these were so darn close that, the neighbor sitting out across the way was merely just feet away. We could see them and we could hear everything.
We could hear her entire phone conversation. Nicest lady, but could hear everything going on.
Yeah, so there was literally no privacy. And so not only did you have your kissing lanai neighbor right across from you, but on the left-hand side as well, too. So the patio villas, if you get the ones with the golf cart garages, if they're situated a certain way, you can still see your neighbors if they're walking around, stuff like that. But you can also sit out there and not feel like you're just totally exposed when you're out there, and you have a little bit of privacy. The other thing to kind of follow up on what Tiffany said about the inside is all the patio villas, unlike the designer homes, the premier homes, you don't get to pick anything in the patio villas. The Villages comes in, and their designers, they pick the floor plan, they pick all the cabinet colors, all the floor colors, all the countertop colors, everything about it. You do not get to select those up front whatsoever. They just build out the patio villa community, and they put it up for sale, and kind of what it is what you get. And so like Tiffany said, when we walked in here, literally, The white cabinets, check. The gray flooring, check. All those types of things.
Neutral countertop.
Yeah, neutral countertop. That's just kind of a one solid color and not some of that funky, fake marble-ish looking stuff. We'll probably replace the countertop with quartz at some point in the future. We'll do a video on that. Matter of fact, a lot of our neighbors have already done that. It's been so crazy here the last couple of weeks, not only with moving trucks coming in, but with everybody that's already been doing a lot of renovations. One of our neighbors 2 houses down, he let me come here and check it out. It's got the exact same floor plan as us. He has already replaced the countertops here and in the bathrooms. It looks gorgeous. He did a great undermount sink. There's a neighbor right down the road down here, and they're doing the sweat equity, and I think they must have another house because they keep coming back and forth on a golf cart, and they're literally working in there every single day. So we're going to do some design renovations and stuff like that. But for move-in ready, it really met all the things that we were looking for, and there was nothing that really was offensive to us that we just thought we got to do immediately.
Right. And that kind of brings us to, I guess it's not an elephant in the room. I don't know. Maybe it's a lizard in the room.
Okay.
That some of you picked up on it on one of our videos. Yeah. That we're treating this like a 1-year lifestyle visit.
Right.
So we want to make sure so there's many outcomes to that, right? Like what are they? What could happen at the end of a year?
Well, number one, the Villages does have a rule that if you buy a brand new house, which is a good rule, is to keep the property flippers from coming in here. So when you do buy a brand new home, it doesn't matter what series that you buy, that you have to sign your contract that you cannot sell your home for a profit until your 1 anniversary year date or later. So we could sell the house tomorrow if we wanted to, which we're not. But if we want to be able to sell this and if it appreciates and grows, then we can't do that for 1 year or more. So that's a big reason. So at the end of 1 year, we're going to use this, like Tiffany said, as a lifestyle visit. At the end of that 1 year, there's several things that could happen. Number one, we could say, you know what? We love our patio villa. We love this community. This is plenty enough space for us. We're going to stay put right here where we're at. So that is one option. That is one option. But I do get wanderlust. You know, that's why we like the RV, to be able to travel and go try new things. And the Villages are going to expand for the next 30 years. They just announced that they bought even more property down in Center Hill, Florida, which is really close to our RV resort where our Class A motorhome is located right now. So if anybody wants to buy a motorhome, or you already have one and you want a private gated community, once they build there and they build the new future Eastport, from our motorhome community to Eastport's only going to be about 15 minutes or less. But I digress on that. So yeah, we may want to go move to a new part of the Villages. They're going to be expanding. Eastport's getting ready to open up. So who knows? Maybe we'll want to buy something over there, maybe north of Eastport, but south of Sawgrass. That might be a potential thing for us. So we might decide to sell this property in a year and move over to one of the brand new Villages that has not even been built yet. The other thing is, we've heard from so many of you already in the comments that you've done multiple lifestyle visits over many years. I heard from one of you that said that you've been coming down on lifestyle visits for 10 years just trying to find the right village for you. So who knows? You know, we know that we like the Richmond area, the St. John area, DeLuna, Finney, St. Catharines. But we've been up to what's the north part that we've been up to?
Spanish Springs?
Yeah, Spanish Springs. So we've been up there to kind of check it out for amenities and just the town square, but we've not really explored any of those neighborhoods, those villages north of, what's the roads called again?
Well, between the sixes, or maybe north of the sixes. Yeah. I don't know. We're still learning.
Yeah. So that's what we want to do, is treat like a 1 year lifestyle visit, so we can really get a bit better handle on the Villages. I mean, one of our goals is to go see every single rec center, go visit every single village, and share that experience with you.
That may take us longer than a year.
Yeah, definitely. So who knows what's going to be in our future in a year. Right now, we're loving the lifestyle, and we may stay put. We may sell this and we may move to a new village that's going to be built. We may buy a resale in the future, or we've already, met a lot of folks in the Villages and heard from a lot of you that own multiple houses here. So who knows? Maybe in a year from now, we might turn this into a rental and we might buy another home. So yeah, just full disclosure, transparency there, that Yeah, there's a good possibility that we're only going to stay in this patio villa for a year. But at the end of this year, if we really love it and it fits all of our needs from a budget standpoint, a lifestyle standpoint, then who knows? Maybe we'll just stay put.
That's right. So make sure you subscribe and follow along on our journey as we try to figure out all of the villages and visit all of the things to figure out exactly where we might want to be.
So again, we just want to say thank you for everybody that's been following along on this journey so far. You guys are awesome. So thank you for not only taking the time to watch our videos and hitting the thumbs up, because that really does help, but thanks for leaving us comments too. It's, you know, you get to see us on video, but we only know you're out there and find out about your experience, and what you want to see us film in the future is if you leave us a comment. So thank you so much for taking the time for leaving comments. It's awesome to hear from you. So keep up those awesome positive comments, and then we'll try to get out there and just share as much of this experience with you as we can. Again, thank you so much for being part of this awesome journey, and we'll see you in the next video.